Hey, it's Looms here, and today in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make the Mahalo bracelet, which was designed by Diamond Looms on Instagram. So I recommend making this with rounded bands, but regular ones can work too. So this is his account, it's diamond.looms, and he has an amazing account. I really love his pictures, and here is the original post of the Mahalo bracelet, just so you could see his rendition of it. So with that being said, let's get started. To make this bracelet, you'll be needing a hook, a C-clip, and some bands. Today I'll be using opaque fuchsia and glow-in-the-dark pastel mix. So let's get started. To start the bracelet, you're going to make an 8-loop setup. So first of all, you want to make a cap band on your hook, and then pull a band through and reclaim the outside loop and close. Then you're going to take another band and pull it through the first 2 loops and reclaim the outside loop, and do that once more through the first 2 and reclaim the outside loop. You should have something like this, and now you're going to just change sides, and you're going to add another 2 bands onto this side using the fishtail border stitch. So take off the first band and reclaim the cap band loop. Take another band and then pull it through the first 2 loops and reclaim the outside loop. And then do that once more. So there's your 8-loop setup, and now what we're going to do is we're going to add our first colour, which is going to be the bands that create the little crisscrosses in the centre. So I'll be using the reddish colour from the Glow Pastel mix, and you're going to pull it through the first 4 loops and reclaim the outside 3. So through the first 4 and lifting the outside 3. And close, and then what you want to do is you want to rearrange the first 2 bands back over. So it should look something like this, and now what you're going to do is you're going to change sides. And you're going to add your next band the same way. You're going to pull it through the first 4 loops and then reclaim the outside 3 loops. And then what you want to do is rearrange the first 2 bands over to the outside. So you should have something like this. And now you want to cross the middle 2 bands. I'm pulling the right band over the left band. And as you can see, they are crossed. Now we're going to do some looping off. So you're going to take off the first 3 bands that are on your hook, which should be 2 border bands and then a coloured band. So just take them off and hold on to them. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pull this first fuchsia band through that crossed over pastel band, and then put these 3 bands that you were holding back onto the hook. Make sure they stay in order. And now what you're going to do is you're going to take the 3rd band on your hook and you're going to loop it completely over. And now you're ready to add a border band. So just simply pull it through the first 2 loops and reclaim the outside loop. Now you can change sides. And we're going to do the same step again. So take off the first 3 bands and hold on to them. Then pull the first fuchsia band through that second crossed over glow pastel band, and then put the 3 bands that you were holding back onto the hook. Make sure everything stays in fishtail order. So now you're going to take the 3rd band that is on your hook and loop it completely over. And then you take your border band and pull it through the first 2 loops and reclaim the outside loop. So now you're back to the 8-loop setup, and we're going to add our crossover bands again. So now you're going to take your next band and you're going to pull it through the first 4 loops and reclaim the outside 3 loops. It's the same step as before. So through the first 4 loops, or the first half, and then reclaim the outside 3 loops and close. Rearrange the first 2 bands over to the outside, and then you want to change sides. And do the exact same thing and rearrange those first 2 border bands over to the outside. Now you want to cross your bands over, and you want to make sure that you're crossing them in the same direction which you did for the previous stitch. So mine goes the right band over the left band, just like that. And now we have some looping off to do. So you're going to take off the first 3 bands on your hook, and then pull the first fuchsia band through the second pastel band, and then put the 3 back on. And then what you're going to do is, before adding a border band, you're going to grab the 3rd band and loop it over. And then you take your border band and you're going to pull it through the first 2 loops and reclaim the outside loop, just like a fishtail border stitch. And now we're doing the same thing to the other side. So take off the first 3 bands, pull the first fuchsia band through the second pastel band, and then put these 3 bands back onto the hook. Now you're going to take the 3rd band that is on your hook and loop it over, and then you take your border band and then pull it through the first 2 loops. Make sure that you can grab that outside one easily. So reclaim the outside one. And now you're back to the 8 loop setup. You might want to adjust these side bands a little bit, as they sometimes can get twisted in the wrong direction. So now we're back to adding our next crossing stitches. So take your next band and pull it through the first 4 loops. Reclaim the outside 3 loops and close. Rearrange the first 2 bands over to the outside. Now you change sides. And you're going to repeat the same thing. Now you want to cross the middle 2 bands. And now we're going to do that looping off process again. So take off the first 3 bands that are on your hook, hold on to them, loop the first fuchsia band under the second pastel band, put these 3 bands back onto the hook, then take the 3rd band on your hook and loop it over. Take your next border band and pull it through the first 2 loops and reclaim the outside loop. And you want to change sides. Take off the first 3 bands that are on your hook, hold on to them, pull the first fuchsia band through the second pastel band, pull these 3 bands back onto the hook, then grab the 3rd band and loop it over. Make sure that your bands stay in order so you can fix them up. And then add another border band. You're going to be continuing these steps until it's long enough to fit your wrist, and the bands will neaten up the longer you make it. So like the most recent stitch that you just added will always look a bit weird because of these 8 loops that are on, but once you keep going it'll neaten up nicely. So yeah. To close off the design, you're going to add your stitch bands the same way I have shown before. And cross them over in the middle. Now you're going to loop them off like I've shown. Right now you would add another border band here, but you're not going to. You're just going to leave it the way it is, and then you're going to change sides and do the same looping off process. Once again, you do not add any bands onto this side. And now all you're going to do is just take one last border band and you're going to pull it through everything on your hook. And then you can grab your C-clip and clip it onto these last two bands. And you are done. That is how you make the Mahalo bracelet. Thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial, and if you liked it then please give it a big thumbs up, and most importantly, if you made this bracelet and posted it on Instagram, please use the hashtags Mahalo bracelet, diamond looms and emerald looms. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye!